Welcome to Sweet Life Solutions. And my name is Cheryl2, your host. From week to week, Sweet Life Solutions will feature a very special segment entitled Telling Our Story. And Telling Our Story features very special people. And they're not special because they're celebrities. They are special because they have a story to tell. That story may consist of some incredible and amazing success, or it could possibly be a tragedy that they've lived through, or a difficult challenge that they are currently living with. But the recurring theme that you will see each time you look at a Telling Our Story video, the recurring theme will be that they're living the sweet life despite overcoming odds, despite successes, despite their everyday challenges. So they're everyday people, and we want to tell their story so that you can be inspired also to live a sweet life. Because here at Sweet Life Solutions, we want you to understand one thing, and we want you to believe it with all your heart, that you are worth more than anything this world has to offer. Solutions, and this is Telling Our Story. My name is Cheryl2, your host. Today's program, we are interviewing a very special guest. Her name is Dr. Earlene Dotson. Dr. Earlene Dotson is the author of this book, The Healthy Anointed Life. Walk in your healing in every area of your life. Dr. Dotson has an incredible story to tell, and she's here today to tell that story. Dr. Dotson has worked for many years as a health professional, and she's going to explain where she's been and the incredible and amazing things that God has done in her life. So, without any more interruption, Dr. Dotson, welcome to Telling Our Story.
Well, first of all, I just want to say from the very beginning, I always was into health because I grew up in a family environment where we had ill health. My father, before he reached the age of 65, died of a stroke. And as I was growing up, I said to myself, I really need to change this cycle. So I was compassionate about health in particular, and then I went to school and began to major in physical education and health. From there, I went to get my master's degree in physical education, health, and then I got my PhD in health science. So it's always been a passion for me, an intense desire to share to anybody who would listen the concepts and principles of healthy living.
You mentioned, Earlene, that there was a cycle of poor health in your family. Can you talk about what that poor health was that was like a recurring cycle?
Well, in my family on both sides, my father's side and my mother's side, I can tell you the average age of death is about 55 to 60. Primarily because of heart disease, diabetes too, a lot of the preventable diseases, and it had a lot to do with the diet and the exercise and all the principles that we know as far as lifestyle is concerned. So that is where it started.
Well, I've heard people say that I have diabetes, not me personally, but people will say, I have diabetes because it runs in my family. My mother has it and my brother has it. Is that true, that it's hereditary?
Again, a lot of it has to do with lifestyle. And people always think, well, if I'm obese as parents, then my kid's going to be obese. But that is not usually the case. The case is that you eat like your parents. You practice the same habits of your parents, and therefore you're just as susceptible to disease. But in reality, it can be reversed. You can reverse the cycle just like I reversed the cycle in my family.
Okay. Also, people often think that to get older means that you have to be sick. it kind of comes with getting older. You take more prescription medication. As a matter of fact, in this country right now, there is a lot of debate because Medicare is becoming more expensive for the government. What do you have to say about that? Does it really necessarily mean that I'm going to be sick as I get older?
Well, I think generally speaking, you know, when sin entered the earth and the world, all of us are going to die. But if you look in the Bible and you see Moses, who died, and I believe he was about 120 years old when he died,
Wow.
he was sharp, his mind was sharp, his body was physically, he climbed all the way up to the mountain. So, you know, it doesn't necessarily mean that because you're getting old that you have to have these chronic diseases. A lot of these chronic diseases are, again, the result of a unhealthy lifestyle, and it can be reversed.
Okay. So you obviously believe in prevention and
Yes,
reversal
obviously.
of sickness and disease. What are some of the diseases that can be reversed and some that we don't necessarily have to have?
Well, the number one cause of death is heart disease, and it definitely can be reversed. Unless you're born with a heart defect or something like that. But basically, if you are exercising, if you're eating proper food, you're getting your rest, you know, basically you won't have those higher risk factors for heart disease. It is definitely lifestyle related. And also the number two cause of disease is cancer. And it has been proven that 80% of all cancers actually is preventable.
80%.
80%.
Wow. 80%. That is a pretty high number. What are some, I think right now in the United States, it's like 1 out of every 2 or out of every 3 people are at risk for cancer or will get cancer at some time in their life. So what are some of the cancers that can be prevented?
Well, I would think one of the main cancers that can be prevented is colon cancer, because basically it is something that accumulates over years of not eating enough fiber in the body, not eating the proper foods to fight, you know, the cancer virus. So I think that would be one. And some breast cancers, I think, could be prevented because they found out that it has a lot to do with the fat that we eat that causes the breast cancer. So there's several types of cancer that can be reversed, or not even, you know, you don't even have to have it, you know, if you eat the right things and exercise and do those lifestyle changes.
Okay. So you said the big word, the fat word. And there's a lot of talk in the media all the time about good fats and bad fats and how much fat is too much fat. And the reality is that as a people, as Americans, and also other westernized countries, we're too fat. We're overweight.
We are.
And many of us are obese. What can we do about that? Can that be reversed? And or I should ask, what is obesity?
Obesity, I guess you have, they base it on your body mass index, which is generally has to do with the amount of fat versus the lean mass, and also over your height. And if you are 25 to 30% of your body mass index, it means that you're overweight. Anything, if the body index is 30 or more, that's obesity. So you can see there's a difference between it. But I want to say that this is really, to me, something that we can reverse. But right now, 60%, I said 60%, of Americans are either overweight or obese. So 40% are obese, but 60% of Americans combined are either overweight or obese, and that absolutely can be reversed.
Wow. So we've talked a lot about what can happen, and we've talked about your book, Healthy Anointed Life. There had to be a reason why you wrote the book. Can you tell us, have you always been in tip-top health? You weren't able to avoid it, unfortunately. But what is your story now? Do you still have it?
Well, that's a long story, and it's a very pleasant story, believe it or not. About, I'd say, over 3 years ago, I was diagnosed, as I mentioned, with follicular lymphoma, which is a cancer that's incurable. And and when I was told that I had it, of course I was devastated, because as I mentioned to you, I've been in health all these years. And the doctors told me that there was no cure, but the only thing they could do was give me chemotherapy or radiation until I died. Well, I decided that, okay, I don't know that I want that. I think I was more into the quality of life than the quantity. So I prayed, fasted, asked the Lord to help me to know what to do. And so he told me that he was going to heal me and to do the natural, go the natural route, which I did. I just want to say, long story short, it's been 3 years and I am still in the land of the living. Hallelujah. And I actually went to the doctor. They said the cancer was in remission, but I say it is by his stripes I've been healed.
Wonderful, wonderful. I hope that you have enjoyed our interview today with Dr. Earlene Dotson, who is the founder of Healthy Anointed Life Ministries. I certainly have learned a lot, Earlene. I certainly have enjoyed it immensely.
Thank you.
And I hope that you have enjoyed being here with us, visiting with us, and telling our story. You may not live in the Nashville, Tennessee area. That's okay. We will be uploading all of the videos to the website as we go through the seminar series for 6 weeks. But we certainly hope if you live anywhere in the area that you will register and join us for hands-on. And until we meet again, I just want to remind you that you are worth more than anything this world has to offer.